All right, so really quickly, I wanted to show you what I was talking about as far as, you know, being able to do single and double-sided. So this here would be considered as a double-sided fan. All right, so you can use both of them for one fan, or you can make two single fans. This one here, I actually did a video on this one already, but as you can tell, like, her image is wider in the front. These have lights added as well, so you can make it this way. You don't necessarily have to make it into a shaker fan. You can just basically cut out and have it simple like this. But of course, this video is about making it into a shaker fan, and that's what I'm about to show you now. All right, so this is going to be the foam board I'm going to use. It's actually from a project that I've done a while back where I did not have to use the whole board. So this is why I like to save my strap pieces in order to be able to later cut out something smaller. So I am going to cut this in half. And then I'm going to just cut off the bottom. And of course, we're not going to need all that spare on the side, so just go ahead and cut that apart. Cut that away. This here foam board I purchased from Hobby Lobby, and it was about $1.99. This is 20 by 30. At the time, I believe they might have had a sale. I know it was around Christmas time. I'm not sure if the $1.99 is their price all the time, but that day it was. I'm not gonna sit here and say I never purchased a board from Dollar Tree and did them, and if that's all you have to do, maybe I would starting off. But once you get more clientele, I would suggest moving up to a better quality board. So what I'm going to do now is, of course, do a slight slit in the center. And I am going to have to change my knife because I've been working with this one for a while. You always want to start off with a new knife. I'm just going to start it off by peeling it. Yep. And then, of course, placing it upside on its back, positioning it. Grab the under layer so that we can start peeling it off. And when you're peeling this off, you want to make sure that you're peeling it all together. Like if you see that it's tearing, try to get it to a point that it's tearing as one and not in slits. And as I'm bringing the image down, I am rubbing it from the inside because I'm trying not to have any bubbles within the print. All right. Like I said, I'm going to start with a new knife. Having a new knife will make your job a tad bit easier. And really not a tad bit, but a whole lot easier than trying to cut it with a dull knife. because you just basically want to slice through your image. All right, so I'm going to stand up so I can get ready to slice through this. And I'm going to start from the bottom. And when I'm designing, making my designs for cut, I always, even if I'm using a Cricut hack, I always make sure that I have a border. Because with the Cricut hack, I like to go, I like to do insets. And then with the insets, I still want to have a border, so I make my border wide enough so when I do my insets, I still have an outer border. And all I'm doing here is going in between the lines. So I'm going right in between that border. I always like to cut off in sections. That way I know for sure that the areas I'm cutting are being cut out. And that way I don't have to double work and go back. If you feel any resistance, just get back into that groove. Find where that resistance is and just press a little harder to cut it out. And all I'm doing now is basically going all the way around. I am doing a slicing motion, no jagged edge. I also like to design my images to where I don't have a lot of intricate cuts, to where I can go real smooth like I'm doing now. All right, so we have our image cut out. That's how the sides look. Nice, smooth cutting motions. So now that we have our image cut out, let's go ahead and get started with putting our border together. So this, of course, would be strap pieces that I have used previously on other projects. So I kind of save all my straps for situations like this. So I purchased this here metal ruler today from Walmart. Just keep in mind that when you're cutting, you want to make sure that you have a metal ruler, not a wood ruler, because when cutting with the I can't even talk today, y'all. Cutting with a wood ruler, you're most likely to wind up cutting into that the wood. All right, bring your image, your cut off. So I like using a metal ruler because I know I ain't gonna be able to cut through that. So, but if the wood ruler is the only thing that you have, you know that's better than having nothing. All right, so now, being that we did cut our image at 8 inches, we're gonna cut out some 8-inch strips from this piece of foam board. So I like to mark it, and I'm only doing like 1.5 inches. So I'm gonna cut 8 inches long at 1/2 inch. Then I'm gonna go to the center, close to the edge, cut out 1/2 inch. Marking 1/2 inch. Go at the bottom, and mark it at a 1/2 inch. All right, I can cut off this piece here because I already know this is going to be at about 8 inches. And then I'm going to start cutting my strips into 8 inches. Yeah, so now that I have my strips cut out, and this is going to be an alternative to what I'm going to show you eventually, or show you up next. So with this here fan, okay, as you can tell, I used some foam, some insulation foam, and the foam that I use is right here. I picked this up from Lowe's. I'm going to show you what it looks like, just in case you want to use that method instead. So this here is some foam windowsill, and what I did was I outlined my box with that foam. All right, so that's the foam. So actually right here, I'm trying something different, just in case you don't have access to foam, being that you're using your foam board anyways, why not use the pieces that you cut away from it? So that's why I'm using the foam boards cutouts in 8 inch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue, and they still, it's not you know, they still ain't the accurate or right size, but the only thing we looking for really is that height, because technically we can use one, but is it going to give us the height we want when we get ready to add? And let's see the difference. So yeah, technically we can use only one. We don't have to stack it. I'm not going to stack it. It all depends on if that's what you want to do, but I'm not going to stack mine, because I think that's a good enough height for my embellishments that I'm going to be putting inside. So I'm good with that. Right here, and it is so faint, so I have my box going all the way around. Right here is like the cutoff to that top layer, so I'm not going to place my foam, cutout foam right here. Let's see, do I want to do that? And actually I should go a little smaller than what I have it here. Should have went about a 1/2 inch, because with this foam, not a 1/2 inch, but like a 1/4. Yeah, I should have maybe gone a little tad bit smaller, but because we was already so close, cutting it with at a 1/2 inch, I'm not going to risk it. So it's just going to be a little larger than norm. And basically all I'm going to do is outline my board with it. Make a frame with it. So, all right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if I can actually see my frame that I made so transparent that I can barely see it at this point. Let's make sure I'm right where I want to be. Right up in here, it's going to be a little tad bit smaller. So at about I am basically going to mark it at this point, because I do have it so light. I need to be able to see a guide where I need to be adding my strips, because it's like blending in perfectly with the background. And before I glue this down, I just want to make sure I am where I need to be. All right, y'all. So basically, that would be your frame. And in all honesty, if you like me, I got ADHD. I'm not finna sit here and fumble and cut and fool around with foam board. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna spend that money and buy this here foam windowsill from Lowe's. You probably get it from Home Depot or whatever lumber store in your area, and just let that be. That's what I think I am going to do, because I don't know, being that I started this frame method, I'm just going to go ahead and continue with it. But like I say, I believe I'm going to go and stick with that foam method. But we're here now. We've already cut, so let's just go ahead and finish with it. I have my hot glue on. I'm right where I need to be with my frame, so I'm just going to pick up one piece at a time and glue the back down. This hot glue is very hot, so of course, make sure you be careful when using it. Make sure your frame is straight. Then I'm going to start with the bottom piece. And I'm trying not to stay, get on that edge, because, you know, once you press down, the glue will come out. Then press down. Grab this other piece here. Make sure I'm right where I need to be with my top and bottom frames. And I'm sticking right in the center. So the next time I print my image, make my frame, I'm gonna make sure that I can be able to see it, because it was so light that yep, I am so off, because I can see right here where the frame is, and I'm like so off. I know once I remove this here, it is gonna take off. Yep, so yeah, so I'm not gonna bother it. It is off. So when you're doing your box, make sure that you're I don't know why I did that so light, but make sure you do a box, because you're gonna cover it anyways. Make sure you do a box to where you are actually able to see. I did that so light that it blended in so well with the image to where it was impossible for me to see. But I'm here now. I'm going to continue. All right, so just know that make sure your box is centered, and have And make sure that you highlight your box when designing it, that you're able to see it. So let's move on. That's neither here nor there now. I'm going to put some hot glue in the centers, like right in the edges, in the corners, just in case I don't have a good seal, because we don't want our, you know, our little embellishments to fall through the seeps of those cracks. All right, so now I'm going to use my soldering iron, because I'm going to be poking a hole right in the center to where I can string my lights through. But before that, I'm going to get a fan stick. Oh, let's just use the ruler for now. I want to make sure I know where my center is, where my fan is going to be. About right up in here. So about right up in here. All right, so while we're waiting on the soldering iron to get hot, let's get out our acetate sheet. I brought these sheets here from not Hobby Lobby. I brought this off of Amazon, and I'll leave you a link to that as well. Grab one sheet. And we should still be at, and right now we're at 8.5. And while we're at 8.5 and we made our box at 8, is because I went over too far. So that was all my fault. And I'm glad this is like for this video purpose only. All right, so we're right where we need to be with our acetate sheet. And basically I'm just gonna cut it. Making sure that I am on my foam edges, my border. And then cut it again. All right, let's go ahead and put this to the side. Our soldering iron is hot. And I want to make sure that I string my lights right up in this area, like right in the corner. Actually, I want to string it on this side, because I like for my switch to be on the right. And basically just go through it. You don't even need that big of a hole, because the string lights are so thin and small. And really, that's the only time you're going to use this. So we can unplug it and put it to the side. Keep in mind that this is extremely hot. So when you put it away, make sure that it's not touching anything that it can burn. So let's grab our lights, because before we do anything else, we're going to make sure that we thread our lights through first. So basically, what you want to do is you want to open a package. And I always like to make sure that my lights are working before I go through the motion of stringing them and positioning them. All right, so they're working, and I'll leave them on. So what I'm going to do is like in a figure 8. I'm going to go against that 8. And then start pulling my lights through. All right, so this is how you would unstring your mini fairy lights. Once you have it unstringed, you want to go here, go through your hole. And you want to weed it through. Make just a little tad bit room for when you need to hot glue it to the board. I'm not going to hot glue it now because I'm not going to add my stick now. And actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add it because I don't necessarily have to have it close to the stick. So basically now what I'm going to do is, this is the battery side that it opens. So you want to make sure that you're not gluing it down to the part that you need to actually open later to replace the battery. All right, so let's see if we can get this to open. All right, so that's what it looks like when it opens. It has small 3 little batteries inside. So this is the side you do not want to glue down. Let's close that back. So, and I like for my button to be on the outside. Also, I want to make sure that I cover my hole. Right in the center where the actual cord or string is going to be, I want to make sure I do not put glue on that. So I'm going to put glue on the outside. And the outside, and not in the center. And definitely not over covering any of the holes. And then I'm going to glue it down. All right. Okay. So it's there. And then you still are able to open up your battery compartment to change them out. And then let's put this on single because I don't want nobody going to seizures. And just basically outline your board with it. And arrange them how you like. I just like mine to be like a wild look, just like how that is. But I'm gonna kind of bring them in because I am getting ready to add my acetate sheet. Kind of, and this sheet here, it picks up a lot of lint, a lot of dirt. So make sure it's kind of clean before you put it down, especially on the inside. You can always wipe off the outside, but make sure that the inside is clean. Make sure it's going the right way. So I'm going to start on this side. And just glue it down. Like I said, this hot glue is hot, so be very careful. If your acetate sheet is overlapping, don't worry about it, because of course we will be covering it up, and then you can cut it off any extra parts that's lagging at the edges, overhanging on the edges. But it's always better to go larger than smaller. Here I'm just gonna go, I'm not gonna go all the way up because I do want to kind of keep my opening for me to add my little embellishments. All right, so I'm gonna add them through this little hole here. All right, so now let's go ahead for the fun part. All right, so you can put whatever colors you like in the inside, mainly more to coordinate with your fan color. Or like these here I picked up from Hobby Lobby. I actually caught these on sale. Nope, I stand corrected. These are from Hobby Lobby, but I wound up buying these from a thrift store and I paid $3 for it. So yeah, I was happy to find that find. This here I believe I ordered from Amazon. I will be like I said, giving you the link in the description box. And basically I'm just gonna pour some of these. All right, because basically that's what's going to give you that rattling, shaking sound. All right. So it's up to you how many you want to use. What size are these? It's not saying what size it is on the bag, but once you follow that link, you'll know exactly what size they are. So I think that's a good amount there. I do have like some large metallic glitter-like embellishments, so I'm gonna put some of those. And I have some white, or should I say, what color this is? It's not white. This is, it'll come to me in a minute. Iridescent. So iridescent sequence. And I have gold. I have black. Let's add some black, because it's still within that themed color. I actually got these off of Amazon. I got this whole set here. So it came with different colors. Only thing I hate that it did not come with silver for some reason. But that's okay. I mainly brought it just to give me an idea of the size they were, and also like if I wanted to do different samples for customers, I didn't have to buy like a whole pound of it at one time. So it gave me like options. I believe I brought these here from Hobby Lobby. These are some small like congrats signs, diploma, a hat, graduation cap. So these are in silver, black, and gold. Have some some congrats, some congratulations. So the only ones I'm gonna focus on picking out in that lot will be the silver and black. And I'm going to add them in as well. I do have some small diamonds I can add as well. I brought these when I was in Miami. I normally go to Miami to some of the warehouses there and purchase my supplies. So this was a bag of diamonds I purchased from them. So but I'll see if I can find a link somewhere, so that in case if you're interested and probably want to put them in your shaker fan as well. I'm quite sure they should have them on Amazon. So I'm just going to add a couple diamonds inside. And now that I've added everything that I'm going to add, and those diamonds really brought them out. Like, it really may give it more of an elegant type look. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to seal it off. Make sure that it's flat, because I do not want anything to come through those cracks. And this is glue, hot glue, so you know sometimes that hot glue will pop off. So just kind of lift up on it, make sure that you're down. Like right here, it looks like I can add some glue, because it look like later I might have pieces of my embellishment coming out. Just make sure you're glued down all the way around. Also, I would highly suggest that when you're advertising these, just mention that they do have small parts. And these small parts can be a choking hazard, a risk for infants and toddlers and children, all right? And that once, you know, they fan become damaged or something, make sure they discard of these pieces immediately. If they can't glue it back down themselves, so that they don't get in the hands of the kids. Because, you know, they like to put everything in their mouth. Okay? Let's turn our light back on. Alright. I really like how it's coming out so far. What do you think? Other than me just totally messing it up. Being all off course with the frame. Like, I don't know, I just really just botched that up, but I ain't gonna let my brains kind of focus on that right now. I'm just gonna focus on finishing this up without any other hiccups. And while I'm at this stage, I'm just gonna start trimming off any of the acetate sheet that might be overhanging. And it looked like that was the only piece. All right, so now let's cover up our unsightly edges. And right here, it looks like I need to put some more glue because it's lifting. Make sure you get all them lifted areas, because these pieces will come out. That's why you'll see me shaking it every now and then to make sure I don't have any open holes. And of course, because I don't want to use a Cricut machine or anything to cut, I will be cutting this out by hand. I am still going to, matter of fact, I'm not going to do 8-inch. Gonna go here. See how tall this here area is. So I'm going to go at about a little over 8 inches, maybe 8.25 maybe. I wanted to overlap the edges just a tad bit. And actually with the other one, what I did was I just cut it out in a 1/2 inch. But because we cut out the foam in 1/2 inch segments, I am going to cut just a tad bit larger than a 1/2 inch. Not that much, just a tad bit, so that it can overlap. I'm just going to do one straight cut. Right here is the 1/2 inch. So all I'm doing is going about 1, 2, what would that be? Meters. So I'm just going 2 lines over. And I can guarantee you, I am not a math whiz, so I do not know exactly what it is. On a ruler, I look it up so that you will know. All right, so that's where I'm cutting, right up in that area. And look at me using the wood ruler. And how I noticed I was using the wood ruler, I think I done cut through it. So let me use my metal ruler. Got to practice what I preach. I just picked it up because I saw it there. Probably why I was so off. Let me show y'all where I got this here. This here came from a set that I got from Hobby Lobby. And it had like different different colored cardstock. And it has 3 of each. It's saying $20, but I caught it on sale at Hobby Lobby. I think it was like maybe 35% off. And they come with different colors. So this is good to have, like, if you do different craft projects, you know, like, oh, let me see what color I want to do. And it has like, how many different colors? It had like 10 different colors, 3 each. I want to say I've seen this same, not the same colors, but the same thing at Walmart. I think they carry it as well too. And then I'm just going from one end to the other. Snap that off. Press it down. All right, so now basically what I'm doing is reinforcing my edges that might not be glued all the way down. Because I try not to get so close to the edge where I had to touch the cardstock. And then once I do that, I just go back, trim it up. And then how I had like these connecting pieces, I just go ahead and put some embellishments there as well. So I got a graduation cap. I got a sign say congratulations. Let's do a diploma. And of course I'm doing them in silver. I can actually do it in black as well. Let's see. Yeah, let's do it in black. That black will bring it out. Let's do that in black. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have 4 pieces. Let's turn our light on. And then basically right here on the edges, right where those ends meet, I'm just going to kind of camouflage it with these embellishments or confetti. These confetti signs. All right, so something like that. That way it covers up those edges. Now I'm going to add my stick. All right, so this is going to be our 21-inch fan stick. And I painted it already. I painted it a silver, metallic silver paint I bought from Walmart just to match our fan design. And right where that center is, I am going to maybe even come up some and glue this in the center. But I do want some room for my handle, and I think that's good enough. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm still with this thing in the center because once you press down it will ease out on the sides. And then I'm going to press down. That's already stuck. All right. Let's put some glue here. For some reason, this part here is just haunting me. All right, let's turn our lights on. All right, I am Nikki from Exotic Potty Creations. You have watched my trial and error of the errors of this fan again. Don't make these errors I just made. So let that be like money saved for you making that mistake that I made, especially when it came to centering this up like it should be. Also, you know, I can't let this defeat me. With this next image, because I do have another sheet, I will be making this one into a centerpiece. All right, I am gonna make sure I pay attention to the mark visible box I made, so I can do it right. All right. So, and then with that, I will be using this foam. I will be using the foam, the window foam. All right, to make my life a little easier and let this process here go through a tad bit faster. All right, so until the next video. All right, and then once you all make your fans, please come to the group. Let me see what you did. I would love to see your fan. I'm quite sure as I was doing it, you saw room for improvements. And I would love to see what those improvements are. All right, and I'm quite sure a lot more of us would like to see those improvements as well. Okay, and until that next upcoming video, see you.